Hi guys, good evening. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. So let us start session. See, last class. Yes, last class discussed about introduction. That introduction software. Yes, what is system software? What is application software? This thing discussed. Yes, about OS discussed. Yes, including bias from the basic started. Yes, what is OS? About OS discussed. Yes, OS, it's a platform where we can run all the application software. So about this concept discussed here. Next, see here, Java is application software. Then move to application software. Yes, in application software, there is a front end, back end. So Java is a front end. So front end, language and packages. Java is language. Then move to language. Yes, low level language, high level languages. Also complete yesterday here. Low level, high level language. Low level, system understandable language in the form of binary code. System is processor. It's completed. Next, high level language like English language, easy to understand. Yes, C language is a first high level language developed by Dennis Ritchie in the year 1972. Okay, yes. See, high level language to binary code. Yes, interpreter or compiler converts. Interpreter or compiler converts from high level language to binary code. Yes, let us see. What is interpreter and compiler? Yes, interpreter versus compiler here. Topic is about interpreter versus compiler. Yes, interpreter versus compiler. Interpreter versus compiler. What is interpreter and compiler? First, let us see about interpreter. Let us see about interpreter. Yes, for interpreter, I am taking Python. Python script example. Python. Some test.py file. Python script. Yes, how interpreter is working. Yes, about interpreter. See, suppose here some folder. Suppose sample folder. Yes, Python scripting. Let us say about Python scripting. How Python script is working. Python is interpreter based. Python is interpreter based. Let us see how Python interpreter is working. Okay. See, actually Python, to develop the Python applications, we can use PyCharm. Yes, in our office, we are using PyCharm for developing applications. Yeah, but here is a small script. Small script. So here, that ID not necessary. Yes, let us use Notepad. Let us use Notepad. Yes, just I'm using Notepad to develop the Python script. Notepad. D-drive sample, D-drive sample, D-drive sample. CMD command prompt. Yes, D colon, change to D drive. Yes, CD. Yes, DER. Here this is sample directory, CD sample, change to sample, changed. Okay, now here, yes, Notepad, test.py. Python script, yes. Do you want to create new file? Say yes. Okay, yes, now Python script A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20. Yes, programmed a script to add, subtract and multiply two numbers. A equal 10, B equal 20. C is equal to A plus B. A plus B. Print, yes, addition. Yes, addition equal to displaying C value. C equal to A minus B. Yes, print subtraction equal to, yes, displaying C value. C equal to, yes, A into B. Yes, print, yes, multiplication. multiplication is equal to the display C value. It's very simple script. Just very simple script, very simple. Yes, A equal 10, B equal 20, C equal to A plus B. Yes, addition is equal to C, displaying C value, C equal to A minus B, subtraction equal to C equal to A to B, multiplication. Yes, how the script is working here. Save and exit. Now let us run it here. Yes, dir C test.py. Yes, how to run it? Python. Yes, test.py. Yes, Python is interpreter. This interpreter directly working. Test.py. Yes, running. Yes, got the output right. See, no errors checking, nothing, directly running script here. Suppose if it is C program, first of all checking for all the errors, right? If it is C program, first of all checking for all the errors. C program, first of all checking for all the errors. Okay, 1 second. That this girl is unable to listen. Yes, Anusha, Challa, regeneration, regeneration. Yes, if anyone unable to hear me, regeneration. If anyone unable to hear me, regeneration. Anyone unable to hear my regeneration, just resign. Anyone unable to hear me, regeneration, just resign. Okay. Yeah, let us continue. See, imports. Yes, imports java.lang.star. Import Java. Sorry, why this is? Yeah. See your Python script. So this is your Python script. Yes, sorry. Yes, your Python script. A equal to 10, B equal to 20, C equal to A plus B, addition equal to, subtraction equal to, multiplication equal to. So this is your script. Yes, now, yes, run the script here. The Python script running directly here. Yes, no errors, checking, nothing here. Directly working. Suppose if it is C program, you have to recompile. First of all, you have to compile. C program, compile and run it. C program, you should compile and run it, right? Okay. Yes. See, last class. Please, late Chinese. Who joined late? Today, late Chinese. See, last class, just introduction given. Started with basics. Basics like system software, application software. Next, about OS little bit discussed. So front end, back end, language packages. Okay. Yes, nothing discussed in last class. Nothing discussed here. Okay. Just to introduction about low level language, high level language. Only this thing discussed. Nothing discussed. Nothing discussed. Yes, low level language, system understandable language. It's a system understandable language in the form binary code. High level language is like English language. See here all the programs like high level language. Examples, high level language. C, C++, Java, all the high level languages. See, Python script. See here this Python script. Yes, it's a high level language. Looking like English. It's English. It's a high level language. Okay. Yes, suppose one more example. Suppose Java file, Java program. Yes, like English language, right? C program, Java program, Python scripting, all they are looking like English language. These are like English language. Okay, they are called as high level languages. So these are high level languages. Okay, these are high level languages like C, C++, Java and all this. But system can't understand high level language. Every high level language program has to convert into binary code. Every high level language program has to convert into binary code. Yes, who will convert high level language to binary code? For this, yes, interpreter or compiler. Interpreter or compiler converts from high level language to binary code. Interpreter or compiler. Okay. Yes. Today topic is about interpreter and compiler. Yes, interpreter versus compiler. Yes, what's the difference between these two? Interpreter and compiler both are converting from high level language to binary code. Both will convert from high level language to binary code, but some difference is there. What's the difference? Interpreter versus compiler. First of all, let us say about interpreter. Because first of all, about interpreter. For interpreter purpose, I'm taking Python scripting. Python scripting. Python scripting. Yes, to explain about interpreter Python scripting, I'm taking Python scripting. So D drive is the sample folder. Yes, here I am writing some Python script. So D drive sample folder. Here I am writing some Python script. So for this CMD, go to command prompt, open command prompt. Now D drive sample, right? D drive sample, D drive, D colon, that will take to D drive. DER, check the coordinates, sample, sample, sample directory, CD, change of directory into sample, change to sample location, CLS, cleared screen, DER, see, that test.py, right? That Python just now we have developed, see, 9 p.m. just now developed. Okay, yes, notepad, test.py, the script here. Yes, Python script is very simple script. Script to add, subtract and multiply two numbers. Addition, subtraction, multiplication of two numbers. C A equal to 10, B equal to 20, C equal to A plus B addition, C equal to A minus B subtraction, C equal to A into B multiplication. Okay, save it. Save it. Yes, next. Save and run. Python test.py. Yes, the script running directly here. Python, it's interpreter. Python is interpreter. Python interpreter will run the script directly. Here, no errors checking, nothing, directly running. Suppose if it is C program, first of all, checking for all the errors. C program checking for all the errors. If no errors running, that is compiler. C is a compiler based. That is a case of compiler. But when come to interpreter here, directly running. Okay, see this interpreter based test.py directly running here. See, let us see how this interpreter is working. How interpreter is working. See how that interpreter is working here. How interpreter is working. See, so this is Python script. Python script. So first statement. Suppose A equal to 10. Next statement. B is equal to 20. Next statement. C equal to A plus B. Next statement. C equal to A minus B. Okay, displaying. Okay, next statement like this. So next, there are some statements like this. In our code, some statements. So the script statements, right? Script statements. Yes, statements. Yes, how it's working here. So first interpreter, Python interpreter, checking for the first line, checking for the first line, checking for the first line. Suppose no error, correct, no error, then it converts into binary code. It converts into binary code. It converts into binary code like zeros ones format. Here, this binary code given to processor. So processor taking binary code, generating output simply. That's it. See, next coming statements may be right or wrong. See, next coming statements may be right or wrong. Interpreter never think about next coming statements. Yes, if the statement is correct, immediately converts into binary code. That binary code given to processor generating output. So checking first line correct. Simply executes immediately generating outputs. Then checking for next statement. Suppose next statement also correct. Same, this statement converts into binary code. Yes, given to processor generating output here. Suppose next statement something wrong. Yes, next statement something wrong, simply stops. Simply stops here. Any error comes, simply stops. It won't check for next coming statements here. See, first statement is correct, then generating output. Next statement correct. Generating output. Next statement something wrong here. Interpreter stops. Something wrong here. Interpreter stops. Interpreter stops. See this. Let me show that practically. Practically. See A equal to B equal to C equal to A plus suppose. Yes, here missing comma. Okay. Suppose here missing some brackets. Okay. Yes. Suppose missing here double quotation. Totally three mistakes. Totally three mistakes in the program. Yes, three mistakes. Now run it. That Python run it. Run it. See this. Yes, test line number 8. Yes, error right. Showing only one error. Is not showing next errors. Means any error comes in the stops. Any error stops. It won't check for next coming statements. Any error comes simply stops. Here line number 8. Here only stopped. Actually there are 3 errors, but showing only one error. Any error comes simply stops. Means it shows only one error. It shows only one error. Okay. Yes, now here. Yes, let us correct that mistake. Yes, mistake done. Corrected. After correction. Now again submit it here. Yes, now 12th line error. Means this is showing only one error at a time here. Only one error. Now 12th line error. Now correct that error here, 12th line. So this is 12th line. Here bracket missing. This missing. Save it. Save and exit. Now run again here. Run again here. Run again here. Yes. Now 16th line error. 16th line error. Okay. Now 16th line. 16th line. Right. Save. Save and exit. Okay. Now run it. Yes. Yes. So only one error showing, right? Only, yes, actually there are 3 errors, but only one error showing. So this is interpreter. Yes, interpreter. How it's working here? Interpreter checks the first line. If it is correct, then executes generating outputs. Checking next line, correct, then executes. Checking next line, something wrong, simply stops. Any error comes, interpreter stops. Any error comes, interpreter stops. Okay. Yes, compiler. For the same thing, how compile is working. Let us say about compiler. How compiler working? How compiler working? Yes, compiler. Compiler. How compiler working? For this purpose, C program. I'm taking C program for this purpose. C program. Suppose some test.c program. Test.c. Yes, how it's working here. So C compiler. C compiler. So first of all, checking for the first line. C compiler. Compiler. Not in C compiler, any compiler. Any compiler, first of all, checking for the first line. If it is correct. If it is correct, then checking for next line. See, even correct, it won't convert into binary code immediately. No, it won't convert into binary code immediately. It won't convert. It won't convert into binary code immediately here. It won't convert. Okay, it won't convert. Now what happens here? Checking for next line. Suppose next line also correct. Then checking for next line. Suppose next line something error. Yes, it shows error at third line. Error at some line. After checking for next line, checking for next line. So compiler checks the whole program from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Suppose any error next here, that error also shows here. Checking for next line. Checking for next line. Checking for next line. So top to bottom. Compiler checks whole program from top to bottom, shows all the errors. Compiler checks whole program from top to bottom. Compiler checks whole program from top to bottom and shows all the errors. It shows all the errors. Compiler shows all the errors in the program. It shows all the errors. Okay. It shows all the errors. Yes. 1 second, let me show that. Yes, C program. Let us take C program. Yes, Turbo C. C program. C. This program was same. Program to add, subtract and multiply two numbers. It's a C language. C language. Add, subtract and multiply two numbers. Yes. See this. A, B, C. Yes, enter first number, enter second number, C, enter first number, enter second number, C equal to A plus B, addition, displaying, subtraction, multiplication. Yes, compile, compiles, success, no error, run it. Yes, first number 10, second number 20. Yes, addition 30, subtraction minus 10, multiplication 200, right? Addition, subtraction, multiplication. Done. Suppose some mistakes. Suppose if any mistakes are there, then what happens here? If any mistakes, what happens? Yes, some mistakes. Yes, let us see some mistakes here. Suppose any mistakes here. For example, here, suppose here semicolon missing. Semicolon missing. Suppose here comma missing. Okay. Suppose here bracket missing. Okay. Suppose here semicolon missing. Okay. Suppose here some double quote missing. Suppose some bracket missing. Now saved. Saved. Now compile. I'm compiling program. First compiling C program. Yes, compile. Yes, errors, all the errors. Error, 10 error. Totally 10 errors. Errors, 10 errors. Press any key. Any key, see this first error. Declaration syntax, 16th line error. Next 22nd line error. Yes, 25 line error. 27th line error. 31st line error. 33. Okay. 49 errors. So all the errors from top to bottom, right? Compare, see that lines. 16th line, 22nd line, 25th line, 27th line, 31st line. All the errors from top to bottom. Yes, compare shows all the errors from top to bottom. Yes, that errors. Okay. So compare shows all the errors from top to bottom. Okay. Yes. Now let us correct the mistakes here. Suppose here comma missing. Yes, correcting some mistakes here. Suppose here double quotation missing here. Yes, software, save it. Yes, overwriting, compile. Still some errors, 3 more errors, 3 more errors, 3 more. Yes, so this error. So here bracket missing. Next here semicolon missing. Next here bracket missing. Here it's a bracket missing. After correction, no, save it. File, save. Yes, overwritten, compile. Yes, success. Errors. Success. So compiler shows all the errors from top to bottom. Compiler checks the whole program from top to bottom. Compiler checks whole program from top to bottom and shows all the errors. Next, you have to correct the mistakes here. Correcting mistakes. Correcting mistakes. Correcting mistakes here. Suppose this is correct. After correction of mistakes and recompile, when you recompile, no errors. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. What happens here next? If everything is fine, then compile opens one more file. This is test.c program. Test.c called as source code. This is source code. C program or Python is called as source. The English language code is source code. This source code. This is source code. This is source or C program source code. C program source code. So this is source code. Test.c. It's a source code, right? Yes, if no errors. Now compiler convert this whole codes into binary codes. Top to bottom, all the lines converts into binary code, write to another file. Binary codes, zeros ones format. Binary code, write to another file. Write into another file. It will write to another file. So binary codes, write to another file. It will write to another file. Okay, this file is a exe file. It's exe file. This is called as exe file. It's exe file. It generates one binary code. It's called as exe file. Now exe means executable file. Exe means executable. Executable means ready to run. Executable. Now this test.exe is submitted to processor. Okay. Processor they taking that exe file and executing at a time. Yeah, this is working of compiler. So compiler checks whole program from top to bottom. Compiler checks whole program from top to bottom and shows all the errors. Suppose if no errors, then generates one exe file X. If no errors, this whole code converts in binary format. The source code, the complete C program. Now see, let me show that practically. So this is program, is backend of this program. C drive, DC turbo C, here bin, here that program is available backend. So what is name of the program? Math.cpp. Name of the program file is math.cpp. Math.cpp. Yes, math.cpp. Here it's available. Math.cpp. One second. Yes, math.cpp. So this is okay. Now this is compiled, right? Success. Now run it. Yes, when you try to run it, what happens? Backend. Just observe backend here. When you try to run this one here, see backend. See one file created. Just now 8:30 p.m. 8/9. So 8 September. 8 September at 8:30 p.m. One file created. Yes, it's application. Application means exe file. Application means exe. Application means exe. See that properties. Check the properties. .exe. Extension .exe. Is it .exe? So what is exactly .exe file? Tomorrow topic. Tomorrow class. What exe file? Tomorrow topic. That exe file created, right? Okay. Yes. Now running that exe file. It will generate exe file and it will run that exe file. That's here. Okay. Yes. In case of compiler, what happens here? Compiler checks whole program from top to bottom. If no errors, generating exe file, then executes exe file. That's here. So this is difference between interpreter and compiler. Let us see points wise. Just for clear understanding, let us see step by step. Interpreter and compiler differences here. Okay. Interpreter compiler difference. Yes, interpreter. Interpreter. Next compiler. First one. Interpreter. It checks the code line by line. Yes, interpreter. It checks the code line by line. It checks the code line by line. Yes, compiler. Yes, it checks whole code from top to bottom. From top to bottom. From top to bottom. Okay, it checks whole code from top to bottom. Yes, it checks the code line by line. Compiler, it checks the whole code from top to bottom. Okay. Yes, next. Yes, it generates output line by line. Yes, it generates output. It generates output line by line. So line by line output here. First line correct, then executing. Next line correct, then execution. Any error stops here. It generates output line by line. Yes, compiler, whole program at a time. That whole program at a time. Because exe file creating, right? It's creating exe file, that exe executing. So whole program at a time. At a time. Whole program at a time. Okay. Yes, next. Here interpreter, any error comes, stops, right? Any error stops. Means it shows only one error. Interpreter shows only one error. But compiler shows all the errors from top to bottom. Yes, compiler shows all the errors from top to bottom. Okay. Yes. Interpreter, it shows only one error. Yes, only one error. Compiler, it shows all the errors from yes top to bottom. Right? Yes, you guys, 1 second, guys. There is a main difference between these two here. Difference. Serious. In this page, what's the difference observed in this explanation here? See that as per my explanation, as per the explanation, what is observed difference here? This page and this page. What's the difference you observed here? Tell me, guys. Hello. What's the difference you observed here? Yeah, this page On this page, what's the difference you observed? Nothing you
Test
observed?
executed.
Yes, right. Good, good, good. Yes. Test.exe file. Here this is exe file, right? Okay. See, in case of this compiler C program, math.exe file created. That exe file executed. Exe file executed. But when come to Python scripting, what's happening here? See, directly test.py executing, no exe file. Okay, Python test.py, the source code executed directly, means exe not created. This is main difference. Exe file is a difference here. Yes, anyone asking interest here, what's the difference between interpreter and compiler? Exe file is a difference. Main difference exe, that you have to answer. Yes, other points you can say, no issue, but here main point is yes, exe file. Exe file is a difference. Exe file is a difference here. Exe file, yes, interpreter, yes, it does not generate, it does not generate exe file, 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 interpreter does not generate exe file, compiler, yes, it generates exe file, generates exe file, it generates exe file. Okay, interpreter, it does not generate exe file, interpreter, it does not generate exe file, compiler, it generates exe file. So this is main difference. Exe file is a difference here. Interpreter, no exe file. Yes, compiler, here is exe file. Okay. Next, here interpreter, the executing source code directly, right? The source code executing directly. It executes source code directly here. It executes source code directly. It executes source code directly. Okay, compiler, it executes exe file. It executes exe file. It executes exe file. Interpreter, it executes source code directly, whereas compiler exe file executes. Exe file executes. Okay. Next, interpreter based languages are scripting language. Yeah, these are interpreter based. These are called as scripting languages. Scripting languages. They are called as scripting languages. Scripting language. Yes, compiler based. Yes, these are called as programming language. Programming languages. Programming languages. The interpreter based. They are called as scripting languages. Scripting languages. They are called as programming languages. Interpreter, scripting language. Compiler, programming language. Scripting language, programming language. Scripting language, programming language. Okay. Yes, interpreter based examples. Yes, examples. Python is the interpreter based language. Python. HTML is interpreter based language. Linux shell scripting is interpreter based language. Okay. Next, PHP is a interpreter based language. Next, Perl. Yes, Perl scripting is the interpreter based language. Next, JavaScript. JavaScript is interpreter based language. So these are interpreter based languages. Okay, JavaScript is not a Java. JavaScript is different, Java is different. Both are not same. See, JavaScript using with the browser client side. See, one second. JavaScript is not a Java. Java different, JavaScript is different here. Java different, JavaScript is different here. See, yes, behind of this form, this is JavaScript. So JavaScript using with browser client side, Java at the server side using. Java using at the server side. Actual application is Java. Client side is JavaScript, but actual program in Java. Server side. Yes, server side programming we'll discuss next. Wait for some time. In actual topic, I'll explain. Okay. Yes. So these are examples of interpreter based languages. JavaScript is not a Java. Java is different. JavaScript is different here. Compiler based language examples here. Examples. C language. C, C++, and .NET C#. So there are examples of interpreter and compiler based language here. Next here, interpreter based language don't have exe file, right? See interpreter yes based language don't have exe file, Yes, compiler here everything is exe, everything is an exe file. Okay. Yes, finally generating exe with an execute. Yes, always using exe file and here. Yes, everything is an exe file. Yes, sir. Always exe file. Exe file executes. Okay. Yes, interpreter based language no exe file. Interpreter based language don't have exe file. Remember this point here. Interpreter based language don't have exe file. Compiler based language is exe file. So this is difference between these two. Yes, interpreter and compiler. First difference. Checking line by line. Yes, compares whole code from top to bottom checking. Yes, interpret line by line output. Compares whole program at a time here. Okay. Yes, interpret shows only one error. But compiler it shows all the errors from top to bottom. Yes, interpret does not generate exe file. Compiler generates exe. Interpreter no exe. Compiler exe. Interpreter based. It executes source code directly. Executing source code directly. Compiler it executes exe file. Yes, interpreter source code executes. Compiler exe file executes. Yes, compiler based called as scripting languages. Compiler based is a scripting language. Sorry, interpreter based are scripting languages. Compiler based are programming languages. Scripting languages and programming languages. Scripting language examples. These things. Programming language example. These things here. See, interpreter based language. Interpreter based language don't have exe file. Interpreter based language don't have exe file. Yes, compiler everything is exe. Fine. So this is difference between interpreter and compiler. Okay, fine. We are discussing many things about interpreter and compiler. All the basics. Okay, fine. Then where is Java? Yes. No, Java is it interpreter based or compiler based? Yes. See, someone may be thinking, yes, this MN Rosar is always talking about different kind of things, but where is Java? Is not talking about Java. Explain about everything fine, but where is Java? Yes, now let us see Java. About Java. Yes, Java. Now let us start Java. Yes, I am starting Java now. Yes, entering into Java. Yes, how Java is working. Okay. Java. Yes, question is here. Question is Java language. Is it interpreter based? Is it interpreter based? Is it yes interpreter based or compiler based? Interpreter based or compiler based? Yes, anyone can you answer this? Your idea? Java language. Yes. Is it interpreter based or compiler based? Or both? Question. Yes, Java language, is it interpreter based, compiler based, or both here? Let us see. Yes, to answer this one, yes, you should know about Java. Yes, let me explain Java. I'll explain about Java. You decide it here. I will explain, you decide it here. How Java is working, I will explain, you decide it here. Let's start. See, except Java, in other languages, source code. See, this is called a source code. English language source code. Maybe C program or C++, Python scripting or Java. This code is source code. If that source code converts into binary code, means system understandable language. Binary code, system understandable language. That binary code given to processor. A system is a processor. Processor taking that code, generating output simply, right? Source code converting to binary code. This is by the either interpreter or compiler. Okay. Suppose Python. Interpreter converts source code to binary codes. C language, compiler converts source code to binary code. So converting from source code to binary code and given to processor generating output finally here. Yes, Java. What happens in Java here? What happens in Java here? In Java, first of all, source code. Source code, yes, converts into byte code. In Java, some byte code was introduced here. Byte code introduced here. Byte code converts into binary code. Next, binary code. Byte code converts into binary code. Binary code. Byte code converts into binary code. The binary code given to processor. Processor finally generating output. Generating output. That's here. Okay. Yes, byte code in Java. Byte code introduced. Some intermediate code here. So why this byte code introduced here? So why this byte code introduced to make this Java as independent platform? To make the Java as independent platform. To make the Java as independent platform. Yes, we'll discuss that independent platform topic. We'll discuss. Wait. Source code to byte. Source codes. Okay, source code to byte codes. Byte code to binary. So 2 steps, right? Yes, other cases only 1 step. Only 1 step. But in Java, source code to byte codes. Next byte code to binary code. So it will process in 2 steps here. 2 steps. Yes, who will convert from source code to byte code here? Source code to byte code. Source code to byte code by the Java compiler. By the Java compiler. By the Java compiler. By the Java compiler. Next, byte code to binary code. Yes, byte code. This part. Byte code to binary code. This part. This part by the Java interpreter. This is by the Java interpreter. Java interpreter. This part with Java interpreter. Yes, let us see Java also. Java examples. Let us see. Let us see some example on Java. Sample. Here. Constant. Del star dot star. Delete it. Yes. The Java program. Yes. Notepad. Yes, I'm using Notepad for Java program. Actually, Java programs using Eclipse. Using AC. Our daily classes using Eclipse only. Daily classes with Eclipse. Daily class with Eclipse here. So for easy understanding, I'm using yes Notepad. Notepad tester Java. Yes, creating that new file here. Yes, public class. Test public class test starting, ending. Yes, it is public static void, public static void, main methods, string, clear bracket args, starting main methods. Yes, system dot, yes, out dot, println, hello world. Very simple program. Yes, how this program is working. Let us see. So first step, 1 second. Our topic is not about writing Java program. Our topic about compilers and interpreters. Okay, yeah, this will be covered once again here. What is public, what is static, what is system? This topic is next. Java programming not started yet here. Yes, you have to install the Java and Eclipse various things. After finishing all the setups, I'll start Java programming. Java programming not started. Just only to explain about interpreters and compilers. Just I'm writing simple code. Simple code. Next, Java installation and writing Java programs next classes. So tomorrow, I think tomorrow, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow getting. Day after tomorrow getting Java installation. Okay. Yes, now. Save and exit. Yes, now. Say dir test.java file. It's a source code. Okay. So first test.java file. Test.java file is source. It's a source code. The source code given to yes, now you have to compile it. Java C test.java compiling. Yes, compiled. No errors. No errors. Generated one dot class. Java C test.java, right? After compilation, result file is tested dot class. Dot class file is a byte code file. It's a byte code file. It's a byte code. Dot class is a byte code file. It's a bytecode file. See test.java. Yes, given to Java compiler. Java compiler taking test.java, compiling. Yes, if no errors, generates one test dot class file. Test dot class file. It's a bytecode file. It's a bytecode. Yes, it's a bytecode file. Okay. Now this bytecodes. Yes, after generating dot class file. Okay. Now run it. Java test running it. Yes, hello world. See here, Java C means it's Java compiler. Java C means Java C means compiler. Java C means Java compiler. Java means it's interpreter. Java interpreter. Yes, program compilation errors checking by the compiler. Program errors checking by the compiler, but execution by the interpreter. Program executing by the interpreter. Okay, so this is compiler. This is interpreter. This is compiler. This is interpreter. Okay, now interpreter taking test dot class file, test dot class file. Interpreter taking test dot class file. The test dot class file given to Java interpreter, Java interpreter, 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 interpreter. Okay, get that converting to binary code, converting to binary code, converting to binary code. Get that binary code given to processor, generating output finally. So this is what is happening in Java here. So first source code to bytecode by the Java compiler. After generating bytecodes, that bytecode converting to binary code by the interpreter, then getting outputs. Now what is happening here? Yes, errors checking by the compiler, errors checking by the compiler, errors checking by the compiler. If no errors, then it generates dot class file. Dot class, that means bytecode. So errors checking by the compiler here. If no errors, it generates dot class file. Okay, here the dot class file, Java program dot class file, Java program dot class file, executing. Yes, Java program dot class file. Yes, executing by the Java interpreter. Dot class file executed by the interpreter. Right? Interpreter, right? So what is happening here? Errors checking by the compiler. Okay. Yes, program execution, runtime. Runtime means execution. Runtime execution. Execution by the interpreter. Right. This is what is happening in Java here. Okay, errors checking by the compiler. If no errors, generating dot class file, the dot class file executing by the interpreter. Now here this is compiler compiling. If no errors, generating dot class file. Here the dot class file executing by the interpreter. So this is what is happening in Java. This is what is happening in Java, right? Now tell me, what is the answer for this question? Java language, is it interpreter based, compiler based, or both? Tell me guys, you can ping in chat box. Chat box option available, or else you can speak, no problem. Yes, what is answer? Interpreter based, compiler based, or both here?
Both.
Both,
My
sir.
explanation. As per my explanation, what is our answer? Yes, it's a both. Both. Java depends on both the compiler as well interpreter. Java depends on both the compiler as well interpreter. See that? Same thing explain document here. Difference between interpreter compiler. With all the points explained here. All the points what we discussed. Same thing it's in document here. You guys don't worry about document. Yes, in document every point clearly prepared. Just to follow document here. Yes, no worry about class running notes. Running notes is not necessary. Just to follow document here. Okay, yes, for some guys today shared this document. Documents, email, software, recordings are shared. Google Drive access given to some guys. Some students, Google Drive access given today. Yes, here interpreter compiler main difference exe file. Yes, 4 and 5, fourth point, fifth point, they are the main difference. With red color highlighted, right? So these are main important difference here. Okay. Yes. See, Java depends on both the compiler as well interpreter. Yes, in Java errors checking by the compiler. If no errors, then compiler generates a dot class file. Yes, dot class file is a bytecode file. Java runtime by the interpreter. See the steps. Source code, bytecode, binary code. See, source code to bytecode to binary code, processor then output, right? Source to bytecode by the compiler, bytecode to binary code by the interpreter. Java depends on both the compiler as well interpreter here. Java depends on both the compiler as well as interpreter here. Java runtime is interpreter based. Interpreter based. Okay. Yes, here some question for you guys. Some question for you guys. Some question. Some question. Yes, can we create exe file? Java. Yes. Is there any exe file concept in Java? Tell me
No,
what is in my explanation. Tell me what you observed. As per observation in this explanation here. As per the observation. As per this observation. For this explanation. Yes. What you understand? You create exe file in Java.
We can create dot class file.
Dot. Yeah, dot class. Okay, good. Can you create exe? Yes. Have you seen any exe file in this process here? So first using notepad, test.java developed, compiled, like dot class got it. Now execute, right? Have you seen any dot exe file? Yes, in this process. Have you observed any exe file?
no,
No, no, no exe file. There is no concept of exe file in Java. So no, we can't create it. Yes, no. Answer is no here. For this answer is no. No, there is no exe file concept in Java. See. Java is independent of platform. Java is independent of platform. To make independent of platform, the exe file concept removed in Java. See, exe file concept eliminated in Java because of to make it as independent of platform. The topic tomorrow we'll discuss. Tomorrow I'll explain that the exe file concept dot cluster concepts. Okay. So can you create exe file in Java? No here. See, just remember one point here. Any language at runtime is an interpreter based. Any language runtime is interpreter based. Don't have exe file. Don't have exe file. Don't have exe. Any language at runtime. Any language at runtime is an interpreter based. Don't have exe file. Python is interpreter based. No exe file. Interpreter based language don't have exe file. Okay. Since Java program, yes, executing by the interpreter, yes, don't have exe file. That's it. Since Java program executing by the interpreter don't have exe file. Don't have exe. Yes, program executing by the interpreter have Java. Any language at runtime is interpreter based. Don't have exe file. Since Java program executing by the interpreter don't have exe file in concept in Java here. Java don't have exe file. Okay. Yes, Java don't have exe files. Don't have exe file concept in Java. Don't have exe concept here. Concepts. Okay, next in Java, everything is in Java. Everything is a dot class file. So dot class is not exe file. Dot class file. See, dot class file. Dot class file is not an exe file. Ex is different. Dot class is different here. Dot class is not an exe file. Okay. See, exe file is a binary code file. Is a binary code file. Exe file is a binary code file. Yes, and it's a system understandable language. System understandable language. System understandable language. It's a system understandable language. Exe file is a binary code file. Exe file is a binary code file. It's a system understandable language. A system understandable language. Okay. So what is dot class file? See here, dot class file. Yes, is a bytecode file. Is a bytecode file. Bytecode file, and it is a JVM understandable language. JVM understandable. JVM understandable language. JVM understandable language. Dot class file. Dot class file is a bytecode file and is a JVM understandable language. So this is introduction to Java. So Java depends on compiler as well as interpreter. That's here. Now today, so what are the points are clear here? Interpreter versus compiler. Yes, what is main difference between interpreter and compiler? Tell me guys. What's the difference? What's the main difference between interpreter and compiler? What is main difference between interpreter and compiler? What is main difference between interpreter and compiler? Hello.
Compiler creates exe file.
Yes. Compiler generates exe file.
.exe file. Yeah.
.exe. Interpreter will not generate exe file. That's the difference here. Try to remember. This is very, very important point. See, these are actually basics. Even basics. Yes. Most of the guys don't know about these basics here. Just suppose any of your friends already working in Java, working software field, just you ask difference between interpreter and compiler. No, they can't use, they can't answer properly here. Okay, so interpreter compiler is exactly difference here. Yes, till now what we discussed basics. These are some unknown facts. Unknown some facts here. Yes, even guys having experience of they don't know. So yesterday topic and today topic, there are all the basics. Even basics, they don't know about it here. Okay. See, here my intention is I make it to expert in the software field. So for that reason, started from basics here. Even non-IT background guys also should understand these basics here. Yeah, they can understand it very easily here. Started from very scratch. Okay. Yes. So this is so here interpreter compiler main difference exe file. Exe file is a main difference. Exe file is main difference here. Okay. See, interpreter based language don't have exe file. Yes, remember this point. Interpreter based language don't have exe file. Yes, in compiler based language all are exe file concept here. Okay. Yeah, Java depends on both. Java depends on interpreter as well compiler here. Interpreter as well compiler both here. Okay. So Java depends on both compiler as well interpreter. Yes, all the points clearly mentioned in the document here. Yes, I have prepared. Just to go through the document here. Read the document after finishing class every day. Every day after finishing class, read the document. Every topic is prepared in the document here. Nothing, single point is not missing here. Nothing missing, everything prepared here. Can we create exe file in Java? No. There is no concept of exe file in Java. In Java, everything is dot class file. Dot class file is not exe file. See, exe file is a binary code file and it's a file for understandable language. Yes, dot class file is a bytecode file and it's a JVM understandable language. Okay. So exe file is OS dependent. Dot class file is independent of OS. Okay. Yes, that's all about all that introduction. Yes, Java introduction also clear here. Next about Java features. Yes, how Java made us independent platform. Yes, portability. This topic now you can understand very clearly. How Java made us independent platform. How it is portable. You can understand very clearly now. Some basics were cleared here. With that, you can understand these things here. Yes, tomorrow class is very, very important. See, don't miss tomorrow class. See, you guys may be joining into my batch or not. That is secondary. You joining into batch or that is secondary, but don't miss tomorrow class. You will see wonderful class tomorrow. Yes, no trainer will explain. Even no website in the world will give that kind of information. Yes, exe file dot class for how Java made us independent platform. How Java made us independent. Yes, you'll see wonderful session tomorrow. This is 100% wonderful session. Don't miss it. Yes, you joining or not, that is secondary. Leave it. But tomorrow attend it here. Tomorrow attend class. Tomorrow just to attend here, same link. Same link, join into class and attend here. See that tomorrow class. Don't miss tomorrow class. Okay. Yeah, that's all guys for today. Yes, today enough. Tomorrow we'll discuss about Java features. Tomorrow we'll discuss about Java features. Once again, for our batch WhatsApp group, already in WhatsApp communication is going on. Yes, still anyone to share your details, share it here. This is my WhatsApp number. Yes, 8179189123. Yes, share your details, your name, still anyone pending. Yes, your Gmail ID for communication purpose. Yes, in group. Yes, in group. Yes, today session also I'll share in the group. Today recording also I'll share. Don't worry, guys. Today session also I'll share in the group here. Next, for some guys, even drive access also given. Drive access also given. Yes. So this is your batch. Yes, this drive here. Sorry, this is your group. Communication is going as session 1 shared already, session 2 shared, and session 3 also. Today session 4. I'll share it. Okay. Yeah, this is my WhatsApp number. Yes, if anyone still not shared here, share your details, your name and Gmail ID on this number. Yes, I'll add the group. Next, anytime you can communicate with me. Yes, our students are communicating. Doubt they are asking personal doubts. That 8 p.m. student, 8 p.m. student, at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. students, at 8 p.m. Your batch students are communicating already. Okay. Some doubt. Yes, errors. Yes, even errors are solving today. Some asked about doubts. Yes, I have cleared that doubts. Some errors getting in that program. Yes, solution asking doubts and got the program fine. Yes, like this, anytime support for all the practice here. Anytime you can ping me. Yes, any kind of support you can take it. Okay. Yes, error in my code. Okay. Yes, asking. Fine. Yeah. This is my number. Just I'll wait for 1 minute. Please take it. Yes, at your convenient time, you can share the details. It's not urgent. It's not urgent. You can share it. So that's all for guys. That's all for today. Yes, tomorrow same 8 o'clock exactly. So thank you guys.
Thank you, sir.